Waiting for somebody to get on. There we go. Well, he was on. Antonio, was that you? I just saw you pop on and pop off, I think. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Hello, hello. See if anybody wants to talk to me tonight. Anyone, anyone? Hello, hello. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Hello, hello. Hello? Man, all of a sudden my eye cannot see tonight. That eye does not want to focus. If you're new here and you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. I forget my lotion. My eye does not want to focus tonight. Might need my glasses after all to read the comments. Usually if I'm this far away, I can read. Nobody wants to talk tonight. Hello, hello. If you're just popping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Anybody? Hello, hello. If you're just hopping on, say hi. Tell me who you are, where you're from. Hey Jen, thanks for the badge. Thanks for the likes. Hello, hello. Oh, all of a sudden this eye will not focus. I thought, okay, because usually if I have my tripod set far enough back, I can read the comments without my glasses on, but this eye tonight is all of a sudden acting up. There was an orb when I first got on just a few minutes ago, Jen. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Hello, hello. So far, you're the only one that wants to hop on. Looks. Hello, 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 hello. Anyone? Are they just not letting comments come through? All of a sudden we're having trouble out here with our YouTube, so YouTube must be down. I had to hurry up and run to my mom's at 7:30 because she called. She's like, my TV's not working. So I go down there and it's telling her to connect a Google account. Well, I was watching YouTube when I left, and when I came back, then now mine is saying the same message as hers. And then when my brother got out of his YouTube, it was saying the same message as ours. So must be something up with YouTube where we're at anyway. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Looks like nobody wants to stick around tonight. Oh, did you see that? There's a little orb. And then my cat's up there on the bar. Hello, hello. Anybody want to talk to me? Are they not letting comments come through? What is happening? Which we both know that does happen sometimes. That are just nobody wants to talk tonight. We might have a really short live. Yes, that's a bar behind me. That's Chloe up there. I feed him up there to keeps it away from the dog. So yeah. Thanks for the hearts, Jen. If you're just hopping on, tell us who you are, where you're from. So that was 2 orbs that I saw. And it looked like Antonio hopped on. He hopped on and then hopped right back off. He was the very first. I was starting to wonder if comments weren't coming through or what. Oh, I'm tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep. I went to bed at like after midnight and I was up early. Can you bless my Cash App? I don't have a Cash App. So no. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. I have a Venmo. It's down below. You're welcome to leave me a tip anytime. If you're just hopping on, tell us who you are, where you're from. I don't know, maybe somebody will talk to us tonight. We'll see. Hello, hello. Nobody wants to chat with us tonight, apparently. I don't know what is going on with this eye tonight all of a sudden. It was fine until I was like, oh, I don't need my glasses. I have it set far enough out I can see it. 2013, I had twins, Sydney and Jaylee, and Sid was stillborn, and Jaylee passed away. I have to be careful what I say. Sorry, pneumonia. It's so hard. I'm so sorry. How long did Jaylee live? So Sid was stillborn. Had one of those too. I'm so sorry for your loss. Well, you're definitely in the right place. That's what we talk about here. We talk about loss. You're welcome to talk about it anytime you want. Do you have a name and where you're from? I didn't catch that. If you're just hopping on, tell us who you are, where you're from. Jessica, thank you for the likes. I appreciate that so very much. Is in the NICU for 1 week after Sydney passed. I am so sorry. That had to have been rough. So can I ask, how did you deal with that? Did you deal with it? Or are you still struggling? And did you have a name? I'm so sorry. I had a full-term stillborn in 1994. So she would have been, let's see, my son just turned 30. So what was she, 31 in November? 32, something like that. Thank you for sharing the live, Jessica. I appreciate that so very much. If you're just hopping on, tell us who you are, where you're from. Boy, it's a quiet group tonight. I've been here almost 10 minutes and nobody but you, Jen, and then that person, Jessica. I am switching the time next week. I gotta remind myself. Christina from Cali here. I just went from Cali back to Iowa. What part of Cali? Christina? Thank you for the heart, Jessica. I appreciate you and all the hearts. Orange County. Okay, I was in Yucaipa. I was there for what? Not quite 4 months. Let's see. November, December, January. Yeah, a little over about 3.5 months. Maybe not quite. I never made it to Orange County. I was gonna always I didn't even get it to the coast while I was there. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are and where you're from. I can't talk tonight. I've got to go to a different time slot because I'm too tired by this time of night here. But I was trying to keep it with the same times as what I was doing in California and South Dakota, and it's later here. That's not seeming to work. Anybody else want to talk to us tonight? That might be a short live. Nobody wants to talk. Jessica, thank you for all the hearts. I do appreciate you and for always sharing. Lost my mom almost a year ago. I am so sorry. Do you want to talk about it? Hold on. Christina? It's a little bit better now. Thanks for my family and therapist. Thank you for being kind. Oh, you're welcome. That's what my page is created for. If you're not familiar with my story, my husband unalived himself in September of 2023. Aw, thank you. No topic, just chatting. Actually, no, I have a topic. I just was waiting for some people to get on. So I guess I could get started. And I liked my own live. I still don't know how I do that. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. Looks like we're just going to plateau out. So if you're just hopping on tonight, tell us who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee, formerly of South Dakota, California, now at the moment from Iowa. I don't know where I'm from. Just say I'm a hobo. I really don't belong anywhere right now at this moment. I'm here, but I don't really have a home at the moment. So we'll just say I'm just from everywhere, I guess. But no, my home was will always be South Dakota. So I guess we'll just say I'm a South Dakota girl. Okay, so if you're new here, there was another orb. Did you see that, Jen? I'm watching from Ohio. Hey, John Jones from Ohio, welcome. And I'm trying to read without my glasses tonight. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that, and all the hearts, all the likes. I appreciate that. So like I said, so my name is Renee. I'm from South Dakota, I guess we'll say. I started my TikTok in March. Thank you for the follows. I appreciate that. I started my TikTok in March of 2024 because, like I said, if you missed it, you're new here. In September of 2023, for TikTok purposes, my husband unalived himself. That's when I discovered that I had abilities to talk to my spirit guides, and they slowly breadcrumb me to my purpose, which is to help others with their loss and their trauma. And so if you're not familiar with our story, my husband and I were together for 32 years, never apart more than 2 weeks in those 32 years. And so I literally did not know an adult life without him. I met him when I was 16 years old. And so when my husband passed, everybody kept telling me, Renee, just put one foot in front of the other. And I literally did not know how to do that. I could barely breathe. And so I was honestly ready to just check out. I didn't want to stay on this planet without him. I didn't know a life without him. I didn't know how to function without him. And my youngest daughter said to me, she said, Mom, you do realize that your life is worth living, right? And that was my light bulb moment. And I was like, okay, I'm going to stay on this planet, but I have to figure out a way to heal myself because my husband did not leave me in a great spot financially. And so therapy was out, and group therapy was out for me because I'm what you call the circle that don't fit in the square. I'm the unique girl. So thank you for all the likes. I appreciate that. And so, yeah, so I had to figure out a way to heal myself. And so I started to deep dive into meditation and journaling. And the first message I ever got in meditation, and that's how I discovered that I had abilities to talk to my spirit guides, was what heals you will heal others. And that was what you would call the first puzzle piece to discovering my purpose. And so they slowly led me to be online to share my story and to put out videos. I do videos every day from my guides with different messages to help, everyone. And then they said, you're going to get online and you're going to start sharing your story. And so that's what I did. And so that's, like I said, I started my TikTok in March of 2024. And I started doing lives in July of that year. So in July, it'll be 2 years since I've been going live. I only have 2 rules on my page, my channel, whatever it's called. I just ask that you always be kind. And if you can't do that, I just ask that you hop off and keep scrolling. And the other one is we talk absolutely no politics here. My page isn't about that. There's a million other pages out there for that. It's not against one side or the other. It's just, I'm here to help everyone. And I don't care if you're left, right, brown, green, orange, purple. I don't care who you are. My purpose in life is to help people. So that's why I'm here. And so I always like to say I'm on my journey of life where I am, and you're on your journey of life where you are. And none of us are going to agree on everything. And so we agree to disagree on my page. And if you can't do that, then I just ask again. You just hop off and keep scrolling. We talk about different things here. I don't push my beliefs onto anyone. I am a psychic medium. I don't tell anybody that they have to believe in that. That's just not who I am or why I'm here. I do believe it's a gift from my creator. And so I share my gift for that reason. But generally I'm here to just help people, however that may be. And so generally when I go live, my guides give me a topic. And tonight we're going to talk about resilience. Unless somebody's got a loss or something that they're really dying that they need to talk about, then we can do that too. If you're just hopping on and you're not familiar, my name is Renee. Welcome. Tell us who you are, where you're from. We have a great little community here. So mostly I just want people to know that they're not alone. And I'm here to help somebody hopefully never ever have to go through the loss and the trauma that I did. I am going to move my tripod because it's bugging me. I feel like I'm a million miles away. So I'll have to probably put my glasses on to read it. But so tonight we're going to talk about resilience. Just know we're not shy here, so pipe in anytime. My page depends on you commenting. And so we have a dialogue here, right? And so I'm just going to get started. If anybody has any questions or any comments, please feel free to comment. You're never interrupting me, and it never fails. As soon as I get my glasses clean and I get on a live, and then they're dirty. They're just full of pet hair because they were sitting on my lap. Okay, so resilience. When I look up the definition of resilience, it says the capacity to withstand or to recover quickly from difficulty. I've had to learn in the last a little over 2 years to be very resilient, right? I've had pretty much every scenario, situation that could be thrown at me. Sorry, I have pet hairs and they will not get off my glasses and it's bugging the crap out of me. Every situation I think that a person could have come up in the last 2 years since my husband has passed, and I've had to learn how to be very resilient. I am from South Louisiana. I lost my husband 7 years ago this month. I'm very sorry. Is your name Debbie? How many other people did I miss? Did I miss anybody else's comments, Jen? I am so sorry. So how are you? Real quick, like I said, you're never interrupting me. This can always wait till later. What's most important is if somebody's got something they would like to talk about. Would you like to talk about it, Debbie? How did you handle it? Are you handling it? How did that go for you? Do you want to talk at all? And while I'm waiting to see, I'll just kind of keep going. And if not, we'll just fill in wherever. But welcome to my channel, my page, whatever it's called. Okay. Because I would love to talk about it with you if that's something you would like to talk about. How did you handle it? Or did you deal with it? I guess would be my first question to you. He had a heart attack in his sleep next to me. Okay, so you found him then, right? I assume were you sleeping? Did you wake up and find him? Or did you wake up while he was having the heart attack? How did that? Which one? Because I asked 2 questions. I'm sorry, I do that sometimes. And I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing at myself because I do that. I should stop, ask 1 question, stop, and then ask another. Woke up during. Okay. So you were there then when it happened, as it was happening. Can I ask, how long were you guys together, Debbie? Oh, gracious. And you had an 11-year-old daughter. Oh, I'm so sorry. 12 years. Okay. So when that happened, obviously there was some, you could say some trauma there, because I'm assuming you watched him pass then? Or did he go to a hospital and pass? Because no, you said, okay. So there's some trauma there. So how did you deal with that? If you don't mind me asking. Sorry, if you talk to me, I will ask questions. You never have to answer, or you can always say, you know, I'll message you after if you're not comfortable also, but. $12 years is a fairly good, you know, that's a good time, you know, a long time is what I meant to say. So was it a struggle to get over that? Because I'm assuming then you saw what happened. I mean, you were there when it happened. If you're just hopping on, tell us who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee. Welcome. Sorry, I'm trying to drink more water, guys. I'm fighting off a UTI. TMI, I know. My whole life's out there, so whatever. Okay. Did we lose Debbie? Oh, there we go. I hate being honest about my feelings about it. Well, guess what, Debbie? If you're going to be honest anywhere, my page is the place to be honest, because we will validate your feelings here, whether anybody else feels that your feelings are right or wrong or indifferent. We will at least validate your feelings. So you are more than welcome to be honest. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. If you're just hopping on, tell us who you are, where you're from. Tonight we're talking about resilience, but we're also talking to Debbie about her loss of her husband. That's what we talk about here. If you're not familiar with my page, we talk a lot about loss. It's not always about loss, but some of the time I felt a sense of peace. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. Let me share a secret with you. When my husband passed, I didn't feel peace, but after a couple weeks, or maybe it was a couple months, I felt, what's the word I'm looking for, Jen? You know what I'm going to say, don't you? Sorry, my friend's a moderator and she went through all this with me. Let me get back to you because my brain isn't functioning as well tonight. Hastings, Minnesota. Welcome. Charles, is it? Not sure. I kind of felt peace too, but maybe not, that's not really the right word, but I understand what you're saying. Let's just put it that way. Okay. So you're not alone and your feeling of peace is valid, whether it makes sense to anyone else. Just know that your feelings of peace are valid. Okay. So if you're just hopping on, tell us who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee. Welcome. Yes. So how did you deal with it then? Because if you felt a peace, or did you feel at peace like, okay, he was at peace? Or was it you were at peace because maybe something was going on? And I'm not trying to, pry into your relationship. I'm just, I guess, trying to understand your feelings. Was it because maybe something was going on in your relationship so you felt peace, or you felt he was at peace so you were at peace with it? Can you kind of elaborate for me? Is it Ollie, Kentucky? Yes. Oh, Ollie, sorry. Guys, I've got to change this time slot because it's not working for my brain. Both. He was not in the best of health. He was tired. Okay. So yeah, so I understand that. So my husband had strokes and had been in pain and a lot of things too when he unalived himself. So I understand that feeling of peace for that aspect. That makes total sense. And so you were kind of at peace because of his health issues then, is what you're saying. And I'm just repeating that back to you to make sure that I'm understanding that correctly. He wasn't suffering anymore. Okay, great. I get it. So yes, and that's where it's hard, right? Because it's not that we want them to be gone, but at the same time, my husband had his own issues. And so I understand that. I do. And so that's very valid. Very valid. He wasn't suffering anymore. Exactly. And I get that. Totally get that. Yep. So if you're just hopping on, tell us who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee. Welcome. So tonight we're talking about Debbie with her loss of her husband, and also we're talking about resilience. So pipe in anytime. We're not shy here. Then on the other hand, okay. Yep, gotcha. And I'm not going to read that aloud. I read it. Okay. I'm so sorry. And that's tough. It's tough, isn't it? Because in the same hand, you probably had lots of feelings going on there because of all of that. And so it's kind of what I would call a double-edged sword, I'm guessing, right? Well, just know, Debbie, that you have now found, sorry guys, I wiggled it. You have now found a community, and we are here for you if you would like to hop on. I'm here 3 days a week. Gen XRP, greetings from Texas. Welcome, glad to have you here. So just know we have a great community here, and we would love to have you. And you're welcome to message me anytime if you would like to talk about it or talk about anything. Just know that's what my page is about. You're not alone, and I'm glad that you shared with us. And if you would like to share more, you're sure welcome to. Jenna's my moderator, and she's also my bestest friend, my bestie, who got me through when my husband unalived himself. So, yeah, you're welcome to join us anytime. I'm going to follow more XRP updates. You know, I love to do all that kind of stuff. I do like to follow some of that stuff. Gen XRP. I'm not up to speed like I should be, like some of my friends are. William Garrett. Hi, beautiful. Well, hello, William. Where are you from, William? I feel guilty because I have been in a relationship for 6 years. Okay, well, why do you feel guilty? What is Gen XRP? Is Gen, it's like Bitcoin kind of thing. What was my question? I really have to change my time slot. My brain does not want to work at this time of night. Lost my first in 2013 cancer. The peace could be from knowing their struggle is finished. Yep, Charles, that's what she said for sure. I feel guilty because, well, first of all, let me tell you what my husband always just tell me. Guilt is a useless function, and then you will find out. Felt selfish. Whoops, sorry, I keep for a long time. Well, you shouldn't. He was already gone, and so you are allowed to move on with your life and move forward. So, WXRP in Cincinnati. Bill, that's funny you say that, Bill, because I used to watch that, and when I was I think I was like 21 or something, I don't know. I went through Cincinnati, which now I have a friend from Cincinnati, but who I met on here. Anyway, and when I was going through there, it was like really early morning sunrise, and I was like, WKRP, and that's probably something else. I don't know. I'm just babbling. Like I said, this time slot's not working for me, guys. I have to change it next week. Thank you for the likes. you're learning to enjoy life, and that's good. Stick around and we'll help you. If you're not familiar, Debbie, I do also have a YouTube channel, and I have lots of great past lives that I've done on here that talk about all kinds of different things and how to heal and move past some of that and learn how to enjoy life and to fill up your cup. But you're welcome here I'm here every week, 3 nights a week, unless something's going on in my life. Exactly. He would want you to be happy. As a psychic medium, I can tell you that right now, is that they don't want you to be stuck. Grieving is for us, not for those who have crossed over. Yes. You don't have to hope so, Debbie. He would. He definitely would. Yeah. Guilt is a useless function. Guilt is part of the ego. And so when you learn how to kind of put the ego in its place, step out of the left side of your brain, which is the ego, hop over to the other side, which is love and compassion, and learning how to self-regulate. There's another one. Did you see that, Jen? Learning how to self-regulate your emotions and learning to love yourself, then some of that stuff goes away, or you learn how to deal with it better. So if you want to learn any of that, welcome. You're in a good place. But you can go over to my YouTube channel, Scorpio Medium, and we talk about all that kind of stuff. And that would help you if you're interested. You didn't see it. They've been crazy. I swear I had 20 of them in the first 4 minutes. I had 20 orbs last night when I went on my live. Okay, well, I'm just going to kind of go through my topic here. I'm not sure what you're trying to say. Can you elaborate on that? I don't even know what your name is. Tell us what your name is and where you're from. If you're just hopping on, tell us who you are, where you're from, and my name is Renee, if you're not familiar. Keep piping in anytime. Like I said, you guys are never interrupting me. I'm just going to kind of go through this. Like I said, feel free to talk if there's more that you would like to say. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about resilience, and some of this might apply to you a little bit too. When you look it up, it says the capacity to withstand or recover quickly from difficulties, right? And so like I was saying, when my husband passed away, I had to learn how to be very resilient. Oh, you're from Russia. Oh, okay. Welcome. Glad to have you here. So the ability to adapt, right? That's basically what we're saying. The ability to adapt. Changing your perspective. That was huge for me. When my guides finally taught me the lesson of learning how to change my perspective, instead of sitting here saying, I don't know why all this is happening to me, I just learning to to tweak my perception just a little bit to, instead of why is this happening to me, instead, boy, cannot talk tonight and I've got to change this time slot. Why is this happening for me, right? And so when we can, it's part of this, the glasses are distracting me. When we can change our perspective to these things are happening for us because it's either something we're meant to learn. A lot of times, those are our lessons, right? I don't believe in coincidence. I believe everything happens in life for a reason. And, I just believe we're here and life is one big school, right? To learn lessons. And so being able to change your perspective helps a lot in being resilient. Key aspects of being resilient are adapting to our external and internal situations, right? Hi all from, I'm not sure where, New York, Bill Ball. Welcome. We are glad to have you. Thanks for all the likes, Jen. So adapting, right? So for instance, I had to make a lot of adaptations in my life. My entire world of 32 years crumbled the day that my husband made that decision. And so I had to basically learn how to adapt to everything and basically a whole new life, right? And so For instance, a lot of my material possessions were taken from me. My car was gone. My camper was taken, right? And I had to learn how to adapt. Okay, that wasn't happening to me. It was happening for me. I learned that, obviously I already knew that material things weren't important, but I was learning how to adapt, right? My dryer quit, so I learned how to live life without a dryer. I learned how to adapt. I didn't have a vehicle for a while, so I had to ask people for rides and figure out how to get back and forth to work, with my kids or whatever it was, right? Learning how to adapt to what is going on to any situation in our life and being able to change that perspective, be resilient, and flip that situation around, right? And learning how to not only externally be able to adapt to that, but internally, right? Learning how to mentally not react with my feelings. I'm back. I followed you with my other account. Oh, okay. Well, welcome. Did you have a name? Did you already tell us that? So recovery. How fast can you bounce back from setbacks, right? So now after 2 years of lots and lots of setbacks in my life, I was telling my son, now when I have a setback, it's not so much of why is this happening to me? Now I'm going, okay, now my guides are waiting to see my response, right? I already know, hey, it's just one more thing that happened, right? I just chalk it up to it is what it is. But now it's not reacting to the situation, but exactly how am I going to respond, right? Where the old me 2 years ago would have, okay, my dryer died. I don't have a car to get to work. I'm freaking out. Now the new me just goes, of course it did. And I just go, okay, so now we adapt. And how do we make life work without it, right? So yeah, why did you take off my glasses? Well, they're my readers, and they're dirty tonight, and they were annoying me with the light. That's part of why. Hello, and I can't quite, one woman is enough. Hi, and where are you from? Tell us who you are and where you're from. And so learning how to be able to regulate our emotions is part of being resilient, right? And that's something that I've learned a lot in the last 2 years of, back in the old days, my emotion would control my life. And so it's kind of like the video I put out this morning where I talk about, maybe something happened in your morning, right? Maybe before you went to work, went to school, wherever you were going this morning, or whenever you got to wherever you're going. And maybe you had a little, what I call a snafu, but I call them speed bumps, right? Something happened in your day. Okay, that's where you can show resilience and be able to bounce back where, like I said, the old me would have said, oh, well, this happened this morning and now I'm just in a bad mood and I'm going to be in a bad mood all day. And I just let it affect my whole entire day. No, I've never been to Russia. I've never been out of the United States. And so instead of letting our emotions of whatever is happening to us at the moment, it's being resilient and being able to bounce back and not let those emotions control us. Am I making sense, or am I talking in circles? Like I said, it is too late for me to have this TikTok at this time of night. I've got to change it. My brain does not want to function properly this time of night, especially because I didn't sleep well last night and I was up early. So like I said, learning how to bounce back. And now I just take things as they come. I was staying with a friend in California. I give up my apartment to go there, and I wasn't on my friend's lease. And my friend said, oh, why haven't you been out of the United States? Because I don't have a passport. I don't have the funds to do it. And that's pretty much the gist of it at the moment. And so I'm staying at my friend's place in California, and I'm not on his lease. And I'm told that I have till the end of February to leave because I'm not allowed to stay there anymore. Well, technically, when I leave, I have already left now. But at the time, it's like, okay, where am I going to go? Because I let the lease get up on my apartment because I was kind of stuck after my husband. My children can't take me because I have pets and of their situations. And so technically I'm homeless, right? And so I could let that situation dictate my emotions and go, oh crap, I'm homeless. What am I going to do? And freak out. Or I can go, okay, this is just the next step on my journey, and learn to regulate my emotions and, figure out, okay, what am I going to do? So, of course, I called my mom and I said, Mom, I got to come home because I don't have anywhere else to go at the moment. And then my brother offered his basement, and that's where I'm at right now. And so, point being is, generally there's a solution, right? But when we get wrapped up in our emotions of it, we can't think clearly. And not only can we not think clearly, sometimes we just have to go with faith that everything is going to be okay, right? I call it my creator. Some people say God. I don't say God anymore. I just say the divine creator. I believe in a creator. Same thing. But just having faith, because I've never been in a situation, looking back through my entire life, and I've been to hell and back in the last 2 years since my husband died. There's been many of situations where I never thought I was going to get out of those situations, right? But I always had faith that some way, shape, or form it was going to work out. And I just kind of relinquished that control and said, okay, my divine team is going to take care of me. My guides, my angels, the creator is going to take care of me. And so sometimes learning how to just take a pause even, right? Helping, thank you for that badge. I appreciate that. Tony from, is it North Carolina? Yes, he's my creator. He is the Almighty Father who never fails. Yes. And so that's the thing is, learning to be resilient is learning how to control your emotions, learning how to regulate your system, right? Like I said, if you have a little snafu in the morning, what I call a speed bump, right? If you go over a speed bump wherever you're going that morning, you don't look back and go and tell your coworkers or wherever you're at all day going, well, I went over a speed bump on the way to work and it was, you know what I mean? You just go over it like a speed bump and you forget that you even went over it, right? Well, that's how we have to think about things sometimes in our life, is that, okay, so today my washer went to crap or my dryer went to crap. Okay, it's just a little speed bump in our life. And learning how to put that into perspective. Yes, does that make our life easier? Yes. But being resilient enough to be able to go, okay, I now no longer have a washer or a dryer, but now what am I going to do to fix that or to adapt to the situation because I don't have one right here, right now, right? Haven't been to the U.S. Have been to the U.S. twice in 2025. Okay. In LA. Okay. I was like 80 miles from LA is where I was staying. And so like in my case, there again, I had to be resilient. I had to learn how to adapt to my situation that I was in at the time. I did not have a dryer. My vacuum cleaner quit. I didn't have a car, all of these things. And I could have sat in my room like the old me would have before my husband passed and said, okay, I'm going to sit here and have a pity party. There goes another one. But here's the thing, is you can sit and have a pity party, but where would it get you, right? Is it going to fix your dryer, your vacuum cleaner, or give you a car? No. So that's when you have to learn how to be resilient, right? So let's see. So learning to bounce back from those setbacks or that stress. Growth. Emerging stronger from your life experiences. Like me, I know where I'm going in the future. I've had visions of my future. I don't know exactly all of it. I don't know how I'm going to get there or when I'm going to get there, but I know I'm going to get there. And so for me, being able to go, okay, well, I'm learning something from all of these experiences. And I learned something from all that, but not only did I learn something from that, knowing where I'm going to go in my future, I can take those experiences later on and go, well, I can relate to you because I've hit rock bottom. I've had my car repossessed after my husband died. I had my camper repossessed. I lost all of my material possessions. I didn't have a dryer that worked. I didn't have a vacuum that worked. And I didn't have a car to go to work. But I still worked 2 jobs and I still worked my butt off and I still was resilient and tried to adapt to my situation. Is that making sense? Is it possible that when I come to the US again this year, I'm going to meet you live in person? I don't know. Possibly, maybe. I don't know. Okay, so am I making sense? Does anybody have anything they want to add to that? Or learning, let's see, learn skill, develop through the practice, right? And so learning as you go. There's always a lesson in everything. I truly believe that. Let's see. If you're just hopping on, tell us who you are, where you're from. So examples of resilient behavior, facing problems head on instead of falling apart. That's what I'm talking about. Learning how to regulate your emotions. So maybe something went wrong like yesterday or the day before. I got in my car and my oil light came on. And it's like, there again, the old me would have been like, oh, great. Now there's something else wrong with the car, right? And I was just like, okay, right? Because I've just had so many things happen in my life now. Now I feel like it's not happening for me to learn something. It's happening so the universe, God, creator, my divine team can go, how is she going to respond to that, right? Because I know what's coming in my future. And so a little bit, right? And so, is it a test for me to see how resilient I am and if I'm going to freak out about it? Does that make sense? So learning to face the problem. I say this all the time. If you're new here, you can only sweep things under the rug for so long, right? And then eventually you're going to trip over the rug. So it's just best to face it head on, deal with it. If it's loss or whatever it is, and loss can mean anything, right? Loss of a job, a relationship, of property, right? I had lots of that, right? It's okay to have a moment about it. Just don't unpack and live there. And, just dealing with it head on. Feel it to heal it. And I just did that, actually. I've been having flashbacks of the day my husband unalived himself. And I came back to Iowa and I had to feel it and I had to be in that place where he did it. And I dealt with it, right? I dealt with it head on and things are better already. Okay, so we're facing the problems head on instead of falling apart, learning how to regulate our emotions, maintaining control in a crisis, right? There again, I felt like everything in my world was crumbling at once. And I could have fell apart and went, okay, all right, you win. I'm done. I give up, right? But instead you like my grandma used to say, girly, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and keep going, right? No, but you can't sit up there. The cat's there. The dog always hates it when the cat takes his spot. Being able to step back and take a breath. Sometimes that's what you need to do, right? Maybe something went wrong at your job or home or your car. It doesn't matter what it is. But being able to just take a step back before you react, right? Before you fall apart to whatever crisis is going on in your life at the moment. Take a step back. And I know it's hard when you're in that moment. It really is sometimes. But be able to take a step back and just breathe. And just go, okay. And now we deal with it, right? My grandma always had a saying, where there's a will, there's a way. And if and she always told me, Renee, there's 2 types of people in this world. There's those that make excuses and there's those that find a way. And she said, she used to call me Nene, and I'll say that to everybody, and now the whole world knows that. But my grandma would say, Nene, you're going to be one of those people that find a way. And that's what you do, right? You be resilient. There goes another one. You be resilient and you find a way, right? You bounce back, you learn how to be resilient, and you regulate those emotions. And so coping skills, how do we cope with stressful things or when life is in a crisis? One, there again, just stepping back, taking a deep breath and going, it's all going to work out. Maybe I don't know how or why this is happening, but it's going to work out, right? Like me, I kind of know now, I think I know why I'm homeless and why all those things had to disappear, because I'm now going to be a relatable person to people when I'm helping people, right? That makes me more relatable. I've been to hell and back. I've lost everything, but it's how you respond, right? I'm responding with, it's okay, because I know it's going to be okay, right? Maybe it's not going to be okay today or tomorrow, but eventually it's going to be okay. And in the meantime, I have a roof over my head. I'm at my brother's. Is it a perfect situation? No, but it's working out. It could be my grandma. Although Antonio was on too. I just saw him. He's been on for a few minutes. Okay. So coping skills. So how do we cope besides taking a breath, right? And just taking a step back. For me, meditation. Go to the gym, right? After my husband passed and my head felt muddled, I learned when I go to the gym and I work out, that helps a lot. Just an orb? I'm not quite sure what you're saying, Jen. So go to the gym. Going to the gym is great. It's something with endorphins. I don't know, but it helps clear my head. Oh, you just saw another one? Meditation helps me. Sometimes I just need to get my mind quiet. And meditation doesn't mean, just sitting in a dark room. Meditation can be standing at the sink doing dishes, taking a drive, taking a walk, going on a hike, going to the gym, whatever it may be, right? Just learning how to slow your mind down. There again, learning how to regulate your mind, regulate those emotions, regulate your thoughts, right? Not letting your thoughts overtake you. Trust me, I know. I'm a classic overthinker. And so that is been a huge one for me. So meditation, hobbies, picking up a hobby. So you're not overthinking so much. Maybe you're focusing on a puzzle or a model car or some kind of hobby, right? Sewing. Please drink some water. I do actually need to drink. How did you know that? Let's see. Journaling. Journaling is another great one. Learning how to write down your thoughts so that way your mind maybe isn't racing. Yes, I do. And I just need water altogether. So yeah, journaling. And then reaching out, finding a support system, even if it's just one friend. When my husband died, I had passed away. I gotta be careful what I say. I had my one friend, Jen, she was great. She was my rock, right? So finding that support system, maybe it's here. Maybe you've discovered my channel and, you just need to know that you're not alone. Welcome. You're always welcome here. Mental resilience, staying focused, keeping faith and hope during the stressful times, right? So there again, just mentally being able to, take a breath, take a step back. Like I said, learning to wrangle those emotions, wrangle those thoughts, and keeping the faith and hope, right? So yeah. Okay. So how can we gain resilience? Practice self-awareness. That's one thing. For me, it was just being aware, right? Self-regulation, like I said, taking the breathing, taking deep breaths, meditating, having emotions without being consumed by them. And sadly, a lot of people in our world right now, you can see that they let their emotions control their life, right? Sometimes it's too easy to overthink a situation and maybe let the old story, right? The old story is I'm dumb, or I'm stupid, or I can't do this, or whatever that old story is. I'm not worthy. Letting that control you, right? So being aware of your thoughts, first of all, and being able to regulate them and not let them overtake you, right? Sitting there, maybe you feel like your whole world's falling apart. Trust me, I've been there, done that the last 2 years, right? Your whole world's, if you're just hopping on, by the way, tell us who you are, where you're from. My name is Renee, welcome. You know, my whole world is crumbling, but I mean, I think you can ask Jen. Jen, you could probably testify to, do I look like, for the most part, maybe to you because she's my best friend, but to the outside world, most of the time, do I look like my world has been falling apart? You know what I mean? I don't let my emotions overtake my life where everybody can tell that my whole world is falling apart. Does that make sense? Right? I have a moment. What I tell everybody, it's okay to have a moment, just don't unpack and live there. Have a moment and then go about your life, because life is still going on, right? So not letting those emotions overtake, consuming you. And that can even go for loss, right? You know, it is hard. I lost my husband, 32 years we were together, and not letting that loss consume every aspect of every moment of my life, of every single day, right? Yes, it was hard. It was, pardon my French, hopefully I don't get kicked off for this. It was damn hard. But not letting that consume my life, you know. And in the beginning it was harder, obviously, and as time goes on it gets a little bit easier. But okay, so hopefully that made some kind of sense and somebody got something out of that, because I feel like I was rambling, and I have a tendency to do that. Does anybody have anything they want to add to that? We've all been very quiet tonight. Quiet group we got. Anybody? Okay, well, I'm waiting to see if there's any comments. If you missed it, I also do have a YouTube channel. So if you're not a subscriber, it's called Scorpio Medium. I would love it if you went over to YouTube and subscribe. That would be great. All of the reels that you find here, you'll find over at YouTube. The only difference is all my past lives. If you enjoy my live and all the other topics, I have tons of other topics over there. You can go over there. I upload all of my lives to my YouTube channel, Scorpio Medium. I am here 3 nights a week, Monday through Wednesday. Through tomorrow night, it will still be at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. But as of next Monday, I'm moving it to 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, because this is just too late for me. I'm trying to keep it late enough for the people on the West Coast, but you know, so they can get off work, and early enough for East Coast people, but it's just too late for me. So 7 o'clock Central Standard Time next Monday, but tomorrow night, 8 o'clock yet. I will be here. Thursday nights, if you are grieving and you feel alone, don't feel alone. I have a Zoom group, Zoom grief meeting, and I would love to have you there. So you don't have to talk. You can talk. It's completely up to you. I just started it so people did not feel alone while they're healing through grief. So Thursday nights, and that's at 5:30 or 7:30 Central Standard Time. Thank you for the hearts, Jen. So it's 5:30 Pacific Time, 6:30 Mountain Time, 7:30 Central Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Time. Thursday night Zoom. So if you're interested in that, you can send me an email, which is down in my bio, or you can DM me to get that login information. It's the same every week. So once you got it, you can just dial in every week. And then I am a psychic medium if you missed that, and I do readings. So if you've ever wanted to connect with somebody on the other side, I do readings. I offer a half an hour session and hour sessions. Same thing, just go down into my bio, send me an email. If I do not answer you within that day, especially if you sent it, there's my kitty. If you sent it to my Yahoo, for some reason I'm having some trouble with that, DM me on here, or send it to it's the same address, but to my Gmail. I'm not struggling there. I don't know what's going on with Yahoo. I had one did not go through, and I don't know why. So yes, so if you're interested in a reading, like I said, go to my bio, send me an email or a DM on here. I also have a Venmo down there. So if you like my content and you would like to leave me a tip, you can do that down there. Obviously, those are always greatly appreciated, but never expected. And that's pretty much everything I have. Does anybody have any questions or any comments they would like to add to that? Has anybody else had a loss since you've hopped on that you would like to talk about? Going once? Anybody? Going twice? Nobody? Okay, guys, well, I will be back here tomorrow night because it's Tuesday, right, Jen? Yeah, Tuesday. So I'll be back here tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. I'm not sure what we're talking about yet tomorrow night. I would love to have you come back if you're been here with me tonight. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody for all the hearts, all the love, everything. I hope y'all have a great night, what's left of it. Remember to make tomorrow great because it is a choice. And on that note, I'll see you tomorrow night until we meet again.